Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited you're with us on 33 Founders today because I'm here with Ariel Kaye, the founder of Parachute. Thanks so much for being with me today.
My pleasure.
I'm really excited to dive into Parachute because it's something that we've never had before. You describe it as luxury bedding basics brand, which is a difficult alliteration, but I want you to dive into that.
I think for me, we're trying to build a brand in a category that has no brand loyalty, delivering a product that's incredible quality. Everything's made in Italy, but priced really accessibly because we believe that everyone should be able to have access to beautiful bedding and great sleep. But we're building a product that's gender neutral, that appeals to a lot of different design aesthetics. Really simple, modern, something for today's shopper, and that was something that I really felt was missing in the current marketplace.
And the sheets start at $89, right?
Yes, so we actually offer everything as separates, and then we do have some sets. So you can buy an individual fitted sheet or a top sheet, and we found that was because a lot of people have their own preference, and we wanted to be able to give the option of building your own bundle. And some of that was inspired from me being a person that doesn't sleep with a top sheet and feeling like I was paying for something in a set that I never would use.
Well, I'm glad you guys had them because I need my top sheet. I don't think I could live without it.
Well, we do have plenty of customers that, have that as their preference. So.
I was so excited about what you guys were doing, and I was sharing it with my best friend who's heading to law school and setting up her apartment. From her perspective, though, why should she trust Parachute? Ordering sheets online, not being able to feel it, although you guys do send samples. What makes you guys so special?
We're doing something. We're delivering a product that's premium quality. I mean, working with a factory that's based in Italy that's been around for 80 years. We have a group of talented product development specialists on our team that are, truly have, 18 plus years individually experience. But we try to educate the customer. We try to give people information so they can make confident decisions. When you go into a place like Bed Bath & Beyond or Macy's or Bloomingdale's, there's really not a lot of help, not a lot of expertise from the sales floor. There's a lot of overwhelming choices, and you're buying something that's packaged in these plastic containers, and you're not actually even feeling anything or engaging with the product there. So we really believe that we're able to give people information they need to actually pick the fabrics that enhance their sleep experience, that are the right sensations are on their skin, and make it really simple. And so, I think that, we've had some people, that feel the same way, that, wonder about, not being able to touch. And that's why we do have our swatch program, which converts extremely high. And we are always looking to figure out new ways to get our fabrics into the hands of customers to help them make their decision. But I think that we've enhanced the purchase process tremendously than what you get offline.
There were some things that you've shared previously that really shocked me about misconceptions in the bedding industry. And one of them was that a lot of times something that's organic is really not organic.
True.
After everything that's been sprayed on it. Can you highlight a couple of those?
Yeah, sure. So what you mentioned with organic, so a lot of times with organic bedding, the cotton may be organic, but throughout the manufacturing process, there's a ton of chemicals through the dyes, through synthetic finishes and coatings that really leave the product anything but organic. A lot of people will see wrinkle resistant or wrinkle free on packaging. The chemical compound that's actually used to create wrinkle resistant is formaldehyde, which for me is, I have no interest in sleeping and having my face against formaldehyde, if I don't have to.
Good.
So our bedding's all Ecotech certified, which is the highest level of certification that ensures that there's no chemicals used from start to finish, and that's something that we really pride ourselves on, and that was a no-brainer for me. I mean, when we're looking for the most premium product, we want to make sure that it has nothing that's harmful, not only for you but for the environment, because those chemicals, they don't just get on the product, but oftentimes they really leave a lot of residue on the land. And we work with this family-owned factory, and they really care so much, not just about creating this premium product, but also protecting the Italian soil. It's really just part of their culture, and it's a family-run business. There's a lot of pride there. So that's something that's really important, and at this point is non-negotiable for us. To uphold that standard as we introduce new products and continue to evolve the business.
You guys also have a partnership with Nothing But Nets, and I know that's extremely important to you.
Yes,
Can you share that with
absolutely.
us?
Sure. Yeah, we have a partnership with Nothing But Nets. Nothing But Nets is a UN organization that donates life-saving malaria bed nets to families in Africa. They've been around for quite some time, and they've made a huge, tremendous impact. With our partnership, for every Venice set, which is our bedding bundle, that's sort of our signature. We donate one life-saving net, so we actually give them $10 and buy that net and have it sent. And then we also have an option through our checkout to add an additional net. And it's amazing how many people actually take that upon themselves and add, a net and a second net. And so, for us, we wanted to be able to provide our customers with really great sleep, and then figure out a way to give safe sleep. We also do donate sheets to some local community associations in LA. So that's something that we do as well. But our partnership with Nothing But Nets is really, powerful and meaningful, and we know that we've made a lot of impact there.
All right, now that we've exposed everyone to the great work that you guys are doing, I want to go back to the moment you decided you were going to build Parachute, because I know for you, you were either going to join a startup or start
Yep.
your own.
Yep.
What was the tipping point?
I've been a person, I love to work. I love to work hard. You have to be that kind of person in order to do this. And if you think you don't, then that's not true. But for me, I have a lot of friends that were part of early stage startups or had started their own company. And I watched this unbelievable passion and excitement. And, I was working at an ad agency prior to founding Parachute. And, I loved that work and I thought it was great, but I reached a point where I really wanted to do something bigger. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to take a risk. I really wanted to, I want to see if I could do it. And, I saw my friends, choosing to work all night instead of hang out and go out and do these things. And, there's something in me that was really, that was appealing. And then I saw an opportunity, and that, opportunity really came from my own experience as a customer, and being a home decor enthusiast, going to buy bedding, finding myself in Bed Bath & Beyond so frustrated, so confused, so overwhelmed, finding out that thread count wasn't anything that, I thought it was. And I really just saw a big opportunity and decided, to go for it. And once I realized there was no brand loyalty and that this just was this incredible category that really hadn't been liberated by the internet, it seemed like, it's just like the stars were aligning essentially. And, it was time to really go after it. And I'd been living in New York. I decided to move to LA and really just get a fresh start and focus and dive right in. And it was the best decision I've ever made.
What were you thinking on the plane ride from New York to LA?
It was quite a whirlwind at that point. But, it was just a lot of excitement. When you have this idea and you really truly believe in it, it almost is all consuming. If it is all consuming, I immediately felt a sense of energy that I, had been lacking for so long. You also there's a lot of hope and excitement, a lot of naivety. There's, a lot of the, what would come in the upcoming year that were, challenges and obstacles. You don't really think about those. You kind of just think about this dream. And so, that kind of idea phase and building the business plan and getting, talking to everyone and getting so enthused and so excited was just really, it was a rush. I mean, it was like a serious adrenaline rush. And, it was like nothing could have stopped me at that point. And I mean, I think that has persisted, but it was a very exciting moment.
What was it like being a solo founder in the early days?
Lonely sometimes. There's a lot going on, especially at the early stages, when you don't have something to show for it that people can understand or relate to. You get a lot of questions like, what do you even do every day? Like, do you just sleep? Are you even doing anything? And also it's kind of isolating. I mean, you're working so hard, and there are days that I'd wake up and feel like there's so much to do. I didn't even know where to begin. And, you miss brainstorming, but it's an incredible feat to be able to do something on your own. And, once I got settled in LA, I really reached out to a lot of people and built a network for myself. And I joined Launchpad, which is an accelerator program, and, having a community of other founders that were working on their vision as well was, it was critical for me to kind of find my own. But being a sole founder is hard. It's it's very hard, but it also eliminates some of the challenges that you hear about with people that have co-founders or there's multiple founders. I didn't have a lot of people to to prove my decisions against, or to have people, there wasn't any of that. But I missed some collaboration, and I definitely sometimes felt like I was on an island of one, and that there was no one there to help.
When it came to bringing on team members, you were big on identifying your weaknesses and bringing on individuals who could complement you. How did you discern between a weakness and something that you didn't like to do or could be better at but didn't want to?
It's a good question. I hired very slowly. I made my first hire a few weeks after launch, and 9 months in, we were still only a team of 4. So, it's been a very slow progression, bringing people onto the team. We're 13 full-time now. But, for me and for the early members of my team as well, it's fun doing everything sometimes. And you get really protective over those tasks. And so even growing the team and giving some of those tasks up can be a challenge, and was a challenge for certain, for people on the team that were like, but I like doing that. I like doing everything. I can do everything. But at some point you realize that it's not what's best for the company. I think but that's it's a reoccurring thought process that you have to have, is really what's best for the company. And so, when I needed to go out and raise money, I couldn't answer phone calls and respond to customer service. When I had to travel and do, meetings with product development, I wasn't there to help pack boxes. You had to delegate, and you have to really, find people that are better at what you're doing. But also, there's just so much learning. I'm a person that really loves to learn. And you learn from others, and I learn from my team every day, and I learn from people on my team, and I think that there's always learning to do, and it's so much better done with other people that are thought leaders and excited and just have passion.
I learned a great insight yesterday from Fred Wilson on leadership, when he said that leading is not managing, but you can't be a leader if there's no management. How do you embrace that as the founder of the company?
I think it's interesting because there's a lot of autonomy in our company, and there's a lot of people that really own a lot, because we're still pretty small. But yeah, management is critical. You need to have support, and I feel like management really is all about support. So, for my team, I really try to make sure that everyone knows that they're supported, that if they need help, that they just need to tell me. And, obviously that's also me being aware of, the dynamics and making sure that I can see that and preemptively create support when needed. But, open dialogue is really important. And we're a team that's very transparent, and we talk a lot, and we check in a lot, and we make sure that, things are moving slowly. And, we're divided between 2 rooms in our house. And so, we're looking at each other quite a bit during the day. So, it's very easy to see, when things are really working well, and when, there's a hurdle that we need to figure out how to overcome.
As the team's leader, how do you approach someone when you can kind of sense there's that uneasiness or things aren't going so well?
Well, we're steps from the sand, so it involves going and taking a walk on the beach, and getting fresh air, and stepping away from the distraction and the work and anything that's going on in the space. But I think I try to make myself really available, and we're close. We're a team that's close to each other, and we enjoy being around each other. So we're coworkers, we're friends, but I take that very seriously. Building culture is and making sure that my employees are happy is what keeps me up at night. And someone recently asked that, what keeps you up at night, and it's the people. And I don't I really. it's what this whole thing is all about, is creating a place where people love to work, where people are happy, where they feel like they have a good balance. They are able to do the things they love, spend time with people they love, eat well, sleep well. That's like sort of the things that we really live by. But yeah, I mean, one-on-one talks on the beach. Really making sure that people.
That's rough.
Yeah, that people feel supported, and that we really address problems head on. And there's not a lot of okay, well, we'll fix that soon. I like to take immediate action. I think that that was something in my own experience that when I felt like there was something going wrong, it was a lot of like, okay, well, in the next few months. For us, I mean, for me, that's not an option here. If there's an issue, if there's something that needs to be resolved, we go after it and we resolve it. And I think that it really, it goes both ways.
I like that, and it reminds me of an insight that my friend Mike Townsend over at Home Hero was just sharing, that when Kyle and him, his co-founder, get together for one-on-ones, they ask their team members, how can you be happier here? Mm-hmm. Is there any way that you could be happier? And so he was saying that one of the things is if they want to learn Portuguese, they're like, all right, let's do that. As a founder, just the term founder, the definition you'd find in the dictionary, it's not your responsibility to encourage someone to learn Portuguese or sleep well and eat well. Why have you taken that upon yourself?
Because I can. I think it's I try, when I left New York, I had this vision of moving to Venice, having my office, having my life there, being able to, do the things I love when I wasn't working. I mean, and I really have actualized that, and I want everyone to feel that way. And, a lot of people come from other jobs, or, a lot of my employees have come from other jobs where their expectation is that they never stop working. They work to the ground. There's been a lot of discomfort at their place of employment. And, we've had people join the team that have decided that they are really interested in competitive biking, and they now are competitive bikers and, go to the velodrome and race, and other people that have become really into cooking and take cooking classes regularly. And, I want people to feel like they can have a life and have, and then some, like you're only happier, you're only as productive at work as you are happy. And I do encourage learning. I mean, I encourage people to take classes at General Assembly all the time. That's something that we've, pay for. If you've had a hard day and are tired and need to, leave to take a spin class, do it. You'll be so much better tomorrow, and you'll be so much happier tomorrow. I mean, those are the things that, I wish someone had told me, and I wish someone had, provided that opportunity for me in the past. And, because I can, I do.
I love that you say that, and I think it lends to what we were discussing before we started, that you guys actually hang out at the house. And when your team members' families come in, they want to show them. 20 years ago, no one brought their family, like, hey, mom and dad, come see my office.
Come see my office.
Especially if it was a cubicle, you don't want to see that. And you've created an environment where there's a house, there's showers for people to shower after that spin class, and it feels like home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a fire pit outside. We hang out, have, talk around the fire. We have a grill. We actually cook all of our meals here for lunch. And we get, groceries delivered every Monday. And, but yeah, we hang out, and, a lot of the people on their team, they're, significant others or boyfriends or girlfriends. They come by, and everyone's has also become friends. But yeah, I like to celebrate our accomplishments. I like to do it together. I think after a long week or after a product launch, it's great to spend time and to walk away from the computer and just connect. And I think it also makes people communicate better when they have that connection and respect each other more. I mean, we're not just coworkers that, come in, clock in. And also, you spend so much time at work that, if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? But yeah, we're also very lucky that we have this incredible space that steps from the sand. We've got this beautiful front yard, and I prefer to hang out here. It looks
amazing.
I prefer to hang out here than, a lot of other places. So, it also makes coming to work really nice. It makes, coming by on the weekends, and, people love it here. But we all love it. It's going to be a sad day when we outgrow it and have to move.
Well, maybe you can just make that your house, your permanent residence.
I've thought about it. It's not unlikely that it happens.
You guys are going to have a pop-up shop on Abbot Kinney starting July 20th, right?
August, oh, July, oh my God, August 1st through September 8th.
August 1st. All right. What can we expect from that? Is it going to look as great as the pictures I see?
It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, we're really excited to bring the product to life and have a place where people can stop by and they can check it out. We do host some events at our office where people do get to see the product, and we actually welcome all local customers or potential customers to come by and make an appointment and see the product firsthand. But yeah, our pop-up shop is going to be an extension of the brand. It's going to be a place for us to show our products and connect with people and have people say hi. We're going to do a few events over that 5 weeks as well at the space, and but yeah, it'll be clean and airy, and there'll be some plants and our product on display, and it'll be cozy. We actually have a little front area too where we'll be decorating and make it very beachy and very cool. And we're actually doing some events this summer in New York and in the Hamptons as well.
Well, if you need anyone to stay in the Abbot Kinney house just to make sure that nothing happens,
I'll let
let
you know.
me know, because I can probably help with that.
Got it.
One of the best pieces of advice that you were given early on from one of your mentors was don't sweat the small stuff. And that is so easier said than done, especially when you're running a business, because there's huge things, but then sometimes that tiny thing just is so magnified. How do you step away from that?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, it's something that I tried to. I have to remind myself frequently. I mean, it's definitely easier said than done. But I think it's a lot of getting out of your own way too. For me, I care so much about everything. I love every customer. There's so much that I care about, and I want everyone to have the best possible experience. And it's easy to take a very small thing and make it very big and have it and just get so connected, and instead of moving forward. And we're problem solvers here. Like any startup, we've got fires to put out all the time, and we're resourceful and make it happen. But for me, I realized that there were moments that I was really I was sweating the small stuff big time. And as a result, I wasn't able to focus on other things, and I wasn't able to, see progress, and I wasn't able to, kind of cut myself a break and then also move forward and keep things going. So, I tell people that all the time, don't sweat the small stuff. There's always going to be something. And that's, I think, what people, need to realize is that, every day there's something, and every day there's big things and small things. And that's just the nature of a new business. I mean, it's new. We're developing, we're growing. There's always going to be something that comes up. And as long as you keep learning and keep improving and, making sure that, the things that happened in the past don't happen again, or that you're able to, resolve them quicker. I mean, there's learnings to be made all the time. But yeah, I mean, sweating the small stuff, it's exhausting. It's truly exhausting. And building a business is exhausting. So if you make yourself extra exhausted, it's just
bad combo.
It's
Sheets can't fix that.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough hours in the day or sleep, to be had to fix that. So, I think, I hear a lot of like big advice, and I try to really, make it as relatable as possible when I share advice at this point, because, it's hard to, make these all, transforming changes sometimes, and, working on the little things really add up to big things. So
I love that you shared that, because it's a perfect segue to an insight that you shared that really resonated with me. You said, always be persistent, but also be patient.
Yep.
Can you explain that and what the difference is?
Yeah, I mean, having a startup requires a ton of persistence. I mean, there's a lot of no's, there's a lot that goes on, and things take time. I mean, things take a lot of time. And that's when you have to be patient. I mean, for me, there were a lot of moments where I could have easily, thrown in the towel, given up, said, tried it, didn't work, and walked away. And I would have missed out on this amazing opportunity and this journey that, I'm still on. And that required patience. It required, days that seemed like they would never end. It required taking a deep breath. It required, realizing that, the process is also part of the fun. And
My dad keeps telling me.
yeah, no, it is. Exactly. It really is. It's not all about getting to the finish line. And, I think it's also really easy to get disillusioned in that way. Like there's a lot of, you see a lot of these big companies grow so fast and it's like, why am I not doing that? But I think there's a lot of payoff from people that, that take their time, make really thoughtful decisions, but also don't give up. Like, I mean, my eye is on the prize. We're building a brand. We're building something we really believe in, and we're persistent. I mean, there's no obstacle too big at this point that I don't think we can overcome. And it's an amazing feeling, but it's also, like I said, it gets exhausting, and so you got to be persistent. You got to really believe in yourself, and also having a network of people that can help pick you up, and having employees that believe and inspire. All of that is really important, but things take time. They really take time, and I think when you can enjoy the process, then the whole experience is more fun.
When it comes to things taking time, I know something that was difficult in the early days for you was fundraising. Mm-hmm. And I'd never thought about it because you said it's a catch-22 for what you're doing. You need money to bring a product to market, but when you pitch investors, they want to see traction, and you can't have traction without money to pay for the product.
Yeah. It's a cyclical cycle that is challenging. Yeah.
How did you overcome that?
Persistence. I mean,
good segue.
I mean, I heard a lot of no's before I heard a yes. I mean, joining Launchpad and deciding to be part of that group was really important. It introduced me to a lot of people and the people that would end up investing in my business when I did raise a seed round. But, and it was one of those things that worked out. The investment that I got from joining Launchpad, happened pretty much the day that I needed to, pay our manufacturer in order to bring the inventory. And so, I mean, things sort of ended up working out in a really, beautiful way. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's very hard to keep hearing no's and to, have people say that they believe in you, they believe in the idea, and but, just need a little bit more time or a little bit more progress. And you just like, okay, well, I want to show you that progress, but I need that money. So, it's hard, but yeah, I mean, persistence, and then once you do get someone that really believes in you and believes in the vision, it's a lot easier. And that first investment is the hardest, and once you have someone that's in it, it's a lot easier to rally a group of investors as well. But I think I heard people say I need to see progress, and so we created a splash page. People said I want to see samples, and so I brought them samples. I did focus groups. I did surveys. I tried to do anything I possibly could that didn't require a lot of money to show people that I was making progress in any way I could. I continued to refine metrics. I talked to people that could be that had experience in the field to give me real information that I could present. That was like, no, this is real. This is true. This is and I made all those things work in my favor. So I do think that there are ways to be creative and to show that and resourceful, and show that you can make progress. It's not always the progress that they want to see. I mean, I didn't have a full, site launch, but, I was working with, a dev shop. So, we had different iterations. I was improving designs. And I think also just like showing people that you're listening and taking feedback is a great way to overcome that, because, especially if they do like the idea and believe in you, and, some people are polite and just say that as, a nice way to say, this isn't going to happen, but that people appreciate that persistence. So, I took feedback that I got in those meetings and I put it to work, and then I said, hey, I'm back, and look, I listened. And, people, they kind of have to pay attention at that point. So
you shared that it took you many, many months before you could walk in and own the room.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that have enabled you to do that today? Maybe not today, maybe before you were raising your Series A, because you guys are doing great today.
Practice. I think a lot of practice. I mean, I would sit in my room and stare in the mirror and give my pitch to myself over and over again. I do it with my parents, who were kind enough to listen, and some of my mentors as well. But so much of it just comes from living the brand and living the experience, which is unfortunate because that just takes time. But I do think that, I also, it took, I think one of the best pieces of advice I got, which was actually from Sam Teller, who ran Launchpad, was, he said that, in meetings, the feedback that he would get from people that came in was that I was just this very like calm, cool California, I didn't have this like fire inside of me that people were looking for from an investor. And I had this day where I was running late. I had a meeting at Launchpad. I, was carrying boxes of product from our storage unit, which was our warehouse at the beginning. I was all over the place, totally frazzled. And I walked in and it was a little bit all over the place and frazzled. And, was so excited, just, kind of out of my mind. And that little bit of craziness, but excitement was a tipping point. And that was the best feedback I'd ever gotten from a meeting that I had at Launchpad was, she was a little bit all over the place, but you could tell that she's just, that she's so in it. And, I realized that I needed to show what I was feeling inside in this very outwardly way. And that a little crazy is good. People want to see, this is a crazy job, and people want to see that you have that intensity and drive and, that you're not always just cool and calm and collected. And I think that was a misconception because in my past and in other jobs, I always was, I had to play it cool. And this isn't a job where playing cool always works. Playing, for lack of a better word, badass is, a little bit, it works. So, that was something that I think took in turn and really internalized and was like, okay, how do I show people what's going on inside of me? And that I'm full of this excitement, and that I'm not going to give up. And how can people see that and really feel that in a room and, know that I'm the one to do this?
How did you do that?
I think it was, I sat up straighter. I, looked into people's eyes longer, and I brought my intensity that I felt inside, I channeled it and brought it out. Which is it's a strange thing to say. And it's I wish I had an easier way to explain it,
but nobody does it. I totally get that.
Yeah. I mean, I just I also realized I had nothing to lose. And I think that, I wanted to be polite before. I wanted to make sure, but these are these moments where it's like, you know what, you got to put it all out there. You got to put it all on the table. You got to really this is who I am. I'm a fighter. I'm a person with persistence. I'm a person, with confidence and, with a vision. And, if you want to be here and if you want to be with me, let's do it together. Otherwise, I'm moving on and I'm going to find the next person that is. And I think, being able to really own that, because at some point I realized, I'm gonna close this round. I'm gonna get the money I need to build this business. And if whoever's not along for the ride, that's their loss. I'm doing it. And sometimes you even have to trick yourself to really believe that in order to own it, because it's a hard thing to hear no and when you want to hear yes and all of that.
Well, thank goodness that you heard some of those yeses and the technique worked.
Yeah.
And I want to shift gears now, and I want to talk about the future because you guys are working on some really exciting stuff. Can you tell us about some of the new projects?
Sure. So, we are working on a lot of fun things. We're developing our bedding collection. We actually launched 100% linen sheets and bedding today. And yeah, they're incredible. We launched that this morning. They are beautiful and amazing. And I swear the best linen that you'll ever feel. We were really proud of this one, and we worked really hard on the development and the production. And it's so dreamy. But we are going to be expanding. And actually, we're within the bed. We're expanding to add some additional textures, so quilts and other layers. But we're all going to be expanding to the bath category. So that will be happening in Q1 of next year. We're going to introduce bathrobes and towels and really lovely things. Yeah, I'm a big bathrobe person. I've been counting down to when I could develop a line of bathrobes. So really excited about that. And we're also partnering more and more with hotels and really developing a hospitality collection. And for me, it's such an amazing way to have people be introduced to the brand in this amazing destination that they're in. And so that's something that we're really excited about. And but yeah, I mean, the bath is big, and that's on the horizon, and it's been fun working on that. But you'll see some other introductions from us throughout the year. We have a bunch of new products coming out. We have some really exciting stuff for holiday. And yeah,
you got me for holiday. I'm a Christmas fanatic.
Yeah, we have a really great assortment for holiday. So
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be in the showroom, so I'll be there. Don't worry.
Okay,
I'll be there.
okay,
I'll be
you'll be
there to
there.
break
You'll
the
be,
news.
yeah, exactly.
As you work on increasing your product assortment, how are you walking the line of keeping the simplicity of Parachute? Because one of my favorite things is when I go on the site, I don't have the Bed Bath & Beyond 10 minutes standing there, oh my God, walk out and leave.
Yeah. So, we're really careful in our product development to make sure that not only are we creating products that are very uniquely Parachute, so gender neutral, really simple, modern. We are trying to introduce things that are a little bit different, but we also, I think what's really important for us is making sure that our products go well together. So, we're keeping it within the same palette. All of our products can be styled together, and that is great for our customers who want to come back and try new things. That's really important. We're also, you're going to see new products from us, but you're not going to see a ton, and we're trying to really differentiate. So, we're not going to have 100 different sheets, but we might introduce a quilt or a textured stripe or something that's more layering. But everything will come back to the same palette. It'll all be super modern and really different. I mean, we're doing some really cool things that you haven't really seen before. So, we're trying to bring the brand to life and make it really accessible for people that have all style aesthetics. I mean, I think that's really what's important to us, is that we want to appeal to everyone, and make sure that we're not isolating or alienating people that don't like a certain style or whatnot.
I love that you said that, because yesterday I showed the room with the blue sheets that I told you I love to both my parents and my best friend, and we obviously all have very different styles, and we all loved it.
Awesome. I love hearing that.
We all just thought, oh my God,
yeah,
we would dive into bed right there and stay, never leave.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. And I think that we love our male customers. I think that the home category in general has sort of has never really created products or marketed towards male shoppers, and we see that as such an amazing opportunity to appeal to both men and women, and really just make it very easy to understand, easy to purchase. So that's awesome.
You guys are actually 40% of your sales are men, right?
Yep. Yeah, 40%. And that's been consistent since the beginning. So, I think that, we definitely air more masculine and feminine. And that, I think, also is my own personal style. I tend to, I think basics in general also, they're just very gender neutral. You're not going to see big floral appliques from us. And that's not to say that those things can't be beautiful, but for the line that we're building, we're trying to keep it really basic and really, very easy on the eyes, really modern. I think I'm inspired a lot by, this the fashion lines that are James Purse and Gap and, companies that have been around for a long time. And, for us also, we take risks by developing new products, but we're not going to release bright red sheets because that's what's happening, in fashion or in other categories, and that's what's cool for today. We're really trying to create products and introduce products that will be in style for a long time, forever.
I want to go back real quick to your excitement when I was saying how much we all liked it, because it reminds me of an insight you shared in a previous interview that both then and now, every time you get a message from a customer, an Instagram post or a tweet, you feel like your heart's just going to explode.
It's true.
I totally get that, because if someone says, oh, that was a good interview, I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you make that part of the culture at your office so you're always celebrating, and when you are making $10 million, you're not going to say, oh, it's another customer?
It'll never be another customer. I mean, that is for sure. I mean, I care a lot about our customers, and we all do. That our customers, without our customers, we would be nothing. And we take customer service we take it so seriously. We pride ourselves on giving people the best service possible from start to finish. But I think everyone, my whole team is proud of this brand and really believes in it. And when we get messages from customers that are excited and happy, we circulate that so everyone can see. I mean, that's why we're here. And so we celebrate a lot of those successes. We celebrate a lot of great product. And it really does fill my heart with such joy, and it doesn't get old. I mean, it's never. I couldn't imagine it getting old. I mean, I truly am so grateful for our customers. It makes me so happy when I hear someone say that buying our bedding has actually enhanced their sleep experience, that they'll never buy bedding from anyone else again. I mean, it still feels like I'm in a dream. It's hard to believe sometimes, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. It makes every day and all the hard work and all the fear and all the risk. It makes it worth something. It makes me feel like we're making a difference. Yeah, I mean, it's the best.
All right, last couple of questions, and these ones are on life.
Okay.
Compare and contrast Ariel in 2013 to the Ariel I'm chatting with right now.
I completely unrecognizable. I mean, I feel like I'm a completely different person. This has been the most transformative experience of my life. I mean, maybe a completely unrecognizable is a bit of an exaggeration, but I really do feel like I have learned so much about myself, not just in who I am as a person with professionally, but just who I am. I mean, I feel like I've grown up. I feel like I have.
You grow up fast.
Yeah, I feel like I've learned so much about about working with others, about supporting people, about I mean, I am willing to talk to just about anyone. I mean, you just never know the impact that people can have on your life. And I think that, it's made me very selfless in a lot of ways, and selfish in others. I put my work first. It's something that's really important to me. And I made this commitment to this company and to these people that I work with. But I mean, I have said and would continue to say that these have been the two most transformative years of my life. And I think it's made me a better person. I mean, I really do believe that this work and this effort and it's all encompassing. I mean, it's hard to separate sometimes, but yeah, I mean, it's been incredible.
One of my favorite things that you've shared that actually really goes directly into that journey, especially of the early days, is that even better than reading books on self-improvement, disconnect. Leave your cell phone behind and walk away. For you, that's yoga. How do you fit yoga into your day? Why is it so important? Not necessarily the yoga, but just the practice of no phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. You have to disconnect. You really have to. It's one of the hardest things for me to do. I mean, it's such a challenge. It's still, I mean, it's always a challenge, but there's something about, putting your phone away, like getting connected to yourself, taking a deep breath. That reminds me that, it's kind of like don't sweat the small stuff again, but, it reminds me that, everything's going to be okay. If I take this hour and a half break, the world's not going to end. My company isn't going to implode. I mean, that things are going to be okay. Sometimes there's this urgency about responding to things and getting things done so quickly that, just that disconnecting and taking a break reminds you that it's okay to take that pause. But also, you need to disconnect. You need to clear your head. I mean, I have some of my best ideas actually in yoga or when I do spin classes. It provides this different type of adrenaline and different type of calm at the same time that you don't get necessarily when you're on your computer all day. And but I suggest, and we are a team that likes to take walks during the day and takes 10 minutes and goes and sits outside in the sun. I mean, being able to refresh and re-energize is so important to keeping it together when you're working. So, but yeah, I mean, I think for me, I know myself personally that, yoga is very therapeutic. It's a place for me to decompress, to get energized, to breathe again. And I don't know what I would do without it.
All right, last question. What is one question that you've always wanted to be asked, personal, professional, past athletic championships, that you haven't been asked?
It's really hard. Is it bad that the first thing that comes to mind is what's my favorite food? Because I don't
I
think
was just going to tell you. I was just going to tell you, if you can't think of anything, I've always wanted someone to ask me what my top 5 favorite foods are because I can list them in order very fast.
Immediately when you said that, all I was thinking was sushi. Sushi is probably my favorite food, and then Mexican food and tacos, just tacos specifically, are a close second. But my preference is eating pescatarian, so I am a big sushi person. I love sushi. I had great sushi last night. But yeah, those are top 2. And I love fruit. I could never cut fruit out of my diet. I eat far too much fruit.
So what would your favorite sushi place and favorite Mexican place be in LA?
So I think there's such good sushi in LA.
Yeah, there's no short.
There's like literally the best. I regularly do find myself at Sugarfish, which, is kind of become a cliche almost in LA, but it's just.
That's the one across. Do you go to the one in Marina Del Rey?
I do go to that one often.
I used to live right across from there.
Oh yeah, right there. Sugarfish is great, but there's so many. I go to Hide a lot on Sawtelle. We went to Iori last night. That's in the marina as well. There's a ton of amazing Sushi Time, Sushi Park. I mean, I could literally list a million sushi restaurants. Mexican food. So most frequently La Fiesta Brava, which is on Rose, they have the best fish tacos I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow, that's saying something.
Yeah, it's true. And I also frequently go to Tacos Por Favor, which is also just opened in Venice, and so I've been ODing on it a bit much because it's so close. But yeah, those are some favorites.
It's not ODing when you're open about it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just a celebration of something great.
It's just a problem when you eat tacos 5 nights in a row, but it's fine.
Not a problem at all.
Okay, good.
All right, so I think that's the perfect way to end the conversation, because anytime I meet someone who's as passionate about food as I am, I just know no matter what, they're going to be a winner.
Good. Well, I feel the same way. Eating is my favorite thing.
Me too. This is great. How can everyone stay up to date with what you guys are doing, in particular all of the new releases and the pop-up shop?
The best way to do that is through our newsletter. And you can sign up on our site. But we send a newsletter just once a week. We don't spam or overdo it. But that's the best way. That's where our newsletters are almost exclusively about those kind of events and, really great. We share a piece of content. But yeah, that's where we announce all of our new product launches, events that we have at our office, because we do those about once a month, any events that are happening in other cities as well. That's definitely the easiest way. And to follow us on Instagram. We're Parachute Home on Instagram, but we also post all that stuff there. And sometimes we actually post information about new releases there first before a newsletter. So that's a good place to also keep up to date.
The Instagram's super tempting, though.
Yeah, Instagram's so fun. I follow so many brands on Instagram. I think we do a pretty good job too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me and sharing your journey. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It was lovely and fun.